Ba-dum bum bum
You
boom
tell a
boom boom.
story. He
Ba ba
does too.
boom
Can he
boom
one up
bum
you?
bum
Well,
ba
that's
ba
up to you.
do
Tell
do
your
do
best tale
do
and you
do
never know.
do
You
ba
could be a winner on the
ba
One
do
Upper
do.
Show.
Cha.
Okay, and welcome back to the One Upper. I'm your host, Ted Blazak. We're coming to you from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. We've got another great guest who is kind enough to volunteer, come up to our table here. And you just seem like a wonderful person. You have just energy. I can tell you're sweet, nice.
Oh, you're so
I'm just
nice.
dying to hear what type of story you have. So lay it on it. Oh wait,
Well,
first I forgot to ask,
oh,
what's your name?
it's Angela.
Angela. And where are you from, Angela?
I'm from this area.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Well,
grew up in St. Mary's, Idaho.
I'm very familiar with St. Mary's. In fact, but I tend to call it St. Marie's
St.
because
Mary's,
that's
everybody says
right,
that.
because that's the way it's spelled. But yeah. So, do you know the Hodges in?
Oh, God, yes, I do.
Okay.
My dad is actually in the lodge with him.
Oh, so I know Ron
Ron,
real well
yeah,
and
yeah.
Carrie and
Yep.
my wife is a funeral director and
Oh, wow.
she
So she
worked
know,
for them
yeah.
on weekends and I would go and stay with her while she was working for them. She covered
Mm-hmm.
for a week for Carrie to have vacation or
Right.
something. So small world.
Oh my gosh,
So
it
hello,
is.
Molly and Ron and Carrie. I'll let them know. I'm going to see her actually this
Oh,
weekend.
that's
So
so
it's funny.
funny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
small world.
yeah.
So,
Uh,
so Angela, I'm from St. Mary's. Uh,
it was at St. Mary's.
yeah, I'm dying to hear your story.
Well, I have two choices. I have a really good ghost
Oh,
story.
a ghost story. I love
You
your
want
ghost.
that
Yeah,
one?
we've only got one ghost story before.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, great.
All right. So let me set this up for you. I used to live on Lake Coeur d'Alene, and I ended up in a situation where I had to quickly move.
Oh,
My parents had sold their property,
oh,
and I was a little bit not sure what I was going to do. And a friend of mine who owns a beautiful, beautiful house, very old house
yeah.
on Lake Coeur d'Alene, offered me to have me come and house sit for him.
Uh,
And I'd known him a long time, both him
uh,
and his wife, and I was very familiar with the house, and I had done it before. His wife had passed away at this point.
oh,
So his wife was a collector of Asian antiques,
uh,
and she had lots of old stuff in the house, lots
oh,
of old antiques. This is a beautiful big mansion. And so I went and I fixed up a space for me to live in
oh,
and did the house sitting. Well, the first night I got to sleep in a over 100 plus year old Asian bed.
oh,
It had a beautiful not tapestry, beautiful carvings all around it. So
interesting.
and this is a big house all by myself in the
Uh,
basement
uh-huh, uh,
and with my cat.
uh-huh.
So I go to bed and I'm very distraught anyway because of having to move from my childhood home at such short notice. Very
Sure.
distraught, I was crying and
Oh,
upset.
I'm sorry.
So as I'm sleeping, all of a sudden I feel a hand stroking my hair and just calming me.
Really?
And it was very scary.
Wow.
A little
Yeah.
unnerving, but at the same time very calming that this person,
Wow.
this being was stroking my hair. And I opened my eyes and it was this little Chinese woman. Keeping in mind, I'm sleeping in an Asian bed that
Yeah.
was over 100 plus years old.
Yeah.
Who knows where it was
Right.
originally. And so she's stroking my hair and telling me calmly that everything's going to be okay. And yeah, my cat has disappeared at this point,
Wow.
obviously.
Wow.
But it
Y-
gets even more interesting. The next
I'm
night,
astonished so far. But so, well, okay. Before we go to the
okay,
next night, so you saw this aberration.
right, and it wasn't solid. It wasn't solid, but it was definitely there.
You definitely saw it,
Yeah.
and you definitely felt a hand on your hair,
Yes.
and like what's
And I was sleeping on my left side,
and
and I could feel her touching my hair.
you could really it felt
Yeah.
like fingers.
It was, yeah. It was definitely a stroking, gentle,
Were you
calming.
asleep or were you half
No,
asleep
I
or
was awake.
you were wide? Okay, you were
Yeah,
wide
I
awake.
was
You were
awake. I was
anxious.
asleep,
You
but
were
then I woke up when she touched me.
wow.
Yeah.
And then you're awake, and then
I
you
just
saw
couldn't.
her straight on.
Yeah, and I didn't
No
know where the
question about
light
it.
switches were at this point,
Yeah.
and I didn't have a light switch by my bed. I would
Yeah.
have to have gotten up, which I didn't want to get
Yeah.
out of bed. Yeah,
So how long was she there for?
I would say probably a good 15 minutes.
And
Yeah.
you
And then I kind of slowly drifted back to sleep. But
really?
I was not I mean, and I have very sensitive to atmosphere
Uh-huh.
because in that house I've had experiences before with other things in there,
Huh.
usually attached to the furniture.
So so okay, so now what happens to next?
So as obviously you might think I was a little hesitant, but
Yeah.
I had nowhere else to go.
I
So,
I would just run.
yeah.
In the woods would be preferable for me
Well,
at
it
that
wasn't,
point,
I
but
didn't feel unsafe, although there have been some things that I was unsafe with in that house in the
yeah.
past. But yeah, so the next night, I'm not as distraught, but I'm a little hesitant, but I go to fall asleep
Yeah.
and I wake up in the middle of the night, just wake up,
Yeah.
and there's something at the end of the bed.
Really?
Yeah, and it ends up being, and you're gonna think I'm loony as all get out, but it ends up being the samurai warrior.
Really?
Yeah,
And you could see it?
I could see his shape. I couldn't. It's not. Once again, they're not solid, but I
Right.
could, and I knew it was a male, and I
Yeah.
knew it was a man. It was very tall.
Could you see like a sword or some stuff or
I
armor or
just saw the
yeah.
samurai type of armor they
Yeah,
used to
yeah, yeah,
wear.
yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
and so he looked down at me,
Yeah.
and I'm sitting there in this beautiful bed that I have no
Yeah.
idea where it was originally.
Yeah.
And he gets this very disappointed look on his
Really?
face, like he was expecting someone else to be in that
Really?
bed. And then he
Really?
kind of turns and leaves.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and I didn't feel unsafe on that one. He never touched me or anything, but it just
Yeah.
is like he was there because he was expecting someone else.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah,
know
yeah,
who
yeah.
or what. So that's my ghost story. That's some of the ghost stories in that
Wow.
house.
How many more days were you there for?
I lived there for a year.
A year.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
was this the only 2 times you saw a ghost while you were there?
You know, I always felt things
Yeah.
because I do that. And uh, my friend's wife who
Yeah.
died, she
Yeah.
used to walk and follow me around when I would do house sitting where I wasn't living there. Uh,
So
oh, he's got a question.
Sage question. Sage wants to know what did the ghost look like? But
Which one? The
well,
woman or the man?
yeah.
Well, the man was kind of dark colored. He was very dark as far as the samurai stuff he had on, and it wasn't armor, it was like leather.
Did just in terms of traditional apparitions, you know how they say they have like I've seen one personally, and it was like a blue, kind of like blue, like transparent.
I didn't It was dark in the room. I didn't have the lights on, and he wasn't glowing or anything like that, but it was almost like a shadow.
Oh, wow.
It
Yeah.
wasn't like ooh, like the ghostly apparitions you think. It was more like a solid shadow.
So
Yeah.
these first 2 nights that you're there and you're sleeping in that bed were the 2 nights you saw the ghost, and
Right.
then the rest of the year that you're there, you felt presence,
Yeah, presence and things follow me around.
but never quite the full aberration as
No,
those first 2
no,
nights.
not those first 2
Hey,
nights.
fascinating
Well, I think it's
story.
because I was so emotional.
Oh,
I
the
was
first couple
very
nights, yeah,
because of being, not in a new place,
yeah.
leaving a place that I loved. My dog had died right
Oh,
before I
I'm sorry.
left. There was a lot of
Yeah,
emotion. But I have seen ghosts before, so that does happen to me. So
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. But I
Okay.
mean, like my friend's deceased wife,
Yeah.
when she first died, when I would go and check on the house for him
Yeah.
before I lived there,
Yeah.
she would follow me around.
Really?
Yeah, and I never felt unsafe, but she just was following me
Now, could you
around.
see her? Or you just felt her?
I just felt her. Yeah.
Wow.
I never actually saw her, but I
Wow.
just felt her
And
presence.
and then after you left that house, you went somewhere else.
I moved here.
And when you moved here, did you see any
No,
ghosts? No. No. So it
because
was
I'm in
just
a new apartment.
right.
I'm in a
Sure.
fairly new apartment,
Yeah.
and I think the fact that there was all that old antique furniture
Yeah.
there, and
Yeah.
it had a lot of stuff clinging to it. I know
Yeah.
it's hard
Yeah.
to describe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah.
Huh. Okay. Well, so that's a great story. That's a
Can
great
you top
that's
it?
you're right. That's the question. Right. Yeah. And this is the point in the program where I try to one up you. And I no, I mean, I once when I was a kid, I I swear I saw a UFO. Yeah,
Ooh,
and what it was, but I was a kid, so I don't even trust
you might
myself
have
so much.
misinterpreted
Well,
something,
it was
maybe.
okay. So what it was, what I mean, it could have been a helicopter or something, but it was
Oh, I hope not.
it was in the middle of the night. I'm out in the backyard. We lived in farmland, and there was this orange light, and
Mm-hmm.
it literally could have been a headlight off of a helicopter or something. But then I saw it like move very fast, and in like
Headlights
this
don't move
diagonal.
fast,
Right. Well, yeah, that's
and they
what I
don't
thought
go.
as a
They don't
kid.
whip around,
Right,
and they
and
don't.
it
Yeah.
kind of whipped around, and then I turned my head and it was gone, and it was very brief. So I mean, that was an out of this world experience. But I think your out of this world experience is you clearly won the one over. Yeah, yeah. Congratulations to you.
Oh,
You are a winner on
oh,
the
I
one
get
up
so
show.
exciting.
Yes. Now, and it's Angela, right?
Right.
So if you out there have a really good ghost story, we would love to hear it. If you can one up Angela's ghost story, it's really pretty hard. You got to have more than two aberrations, and yeah, and they have to be tied to
And they
antique
have to touch
furniture.
your hair.
Yeah, yeah, right, yeah. If you got a ghost story like that, we would love to hear it, and we'll air your story and send you a T-shirt too. Just email us at theoneupper.show@gmail.com. Visit us on our webpage at theoneuppershow.com. Oh, I'm sorry. Email us at theoneupper.show@gmail.com.
There you go.
Sorry. You can also find us on Facebook. We have a page and Instagram, and we love to hear from you. And thanks. That was great.
It was fun.
Yeah, I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah,
Thank you very much for
thank
being on our
you. It
show.
was a great time.
Yeah, let me get you a T-shirt.
The One Upper Show is brought to you by Trailblazing Canvassers and the Burning Sage Productions.